Unang-una, we invited the former president to come, no? And he did not come. Imbitahan namin uli siya. The thing is, even the other committees would want to invite the former president. Sapagkat siya lang ang makakasagot ng mga tanong na ito.
It is only the president, previous administration, or the past president that can answer this. Isa lang ang common denominator. Sa buying of properties, mga corporations owned by Chinese. Yung mga drugs entered in our country, all Chinese. Yung pogos that we encountered a lot of criminal elements perpetrated by Chinese. Yung mga tao doon, konektado sa kanya. So, who can answer this? I think nobody. Unless until we can catch up with Michael Yang or President Duterte himself.
Paniniwala ako na yung investigasyon namin ito is actually a national security concern. Unang-una, we invited the former president to come, no? And he did not come. Imbitahan namin uli siya. The thing is, even the other committees would want to invite the former president. Sapagkat siya lang ang makakasagot ng mga tanong na ito sa aking committee. Bakit tinasabi ng NUPL na more than 20,000 ang napatay? 16,000 ang napatay ng the vigilante forces. Nakatanggap kami ng datos mula sa Philippine National Police na nagsasabi doon na baka 21 lang ang napatay ng mga drug lords pero more than 7,000 ang napatay ng mga drug pushers at 440 people ang drug users na hindi dapat patayin, hindi dapat arestuhin, kundi dapat i-rehabilitate, ay napatay. At hindi lang to, na-find out din namin na may reward system. Saan ang gagaling ang pera na binibigay sa mga nakakapatay ng mga pulis? Yun ang tanong namin dito. Kaya sabi namin, magkakasundo-sundo na kami para maimbitahan ang dating Pangulo para sagutin niya lahat ng mga bagay na ito because this concerns our national security at siya lamang ang makakasagot nito.
Thank you po, Kongs. Last on my... Ay, sige po, Kong.
Dagdagan ko lang, kasi itong pag-create ng Quadcom ay sang-ayon ito sa rules ng House, no? Dun sa rules of procedure governing inquiries in aid of legislation. So, hindi po ito bago, although this is historic as I stated earlier, kasi ngayon pa lang tayo nagkaroon ng ganitong klaseng multi-committees that will hear a common issue that encompasses all the coverage of the different committees. So, we thought it wise na para isang hearing tayo, hindi din aksayado yung oras ng ating mga inimbitahang resource persons, isang hearing tayo na gagawin natin.
Sino po yung mga, nabanggit na po kanina ni Kong Benny na we will invite the former president. Sino pa po yung mga, kumbaga, common resource person na iimbitahin po?
Iimbitahan din namin sapagkat kasama rin dito si Senator Bato de la Rosa. Imbitahan namin siya. Now, it's up to him kung pupunta siya o hindi. Si Harry Roque, imbitahan din namin siya. Lahat ng mga dating mga director generals na involved sa mga pagpatay during the war on drugs, iimbitahan din po namin.
Isang malaking criminal organization ang aming teorya na nag-ooperate sa ating bansa. And because of that, no, we will have to come up with a legislation to ensure that this will not happen anymore kung meron tayong batas. Pangalawa, yung strict implementation nitong batas na gagawin natin. At pangatlo, syempre, bringing them to justice. No? Yan ang napaka-importante dyan. Thank you.
Supporting what Chairman Barber said, no, I really would like to say this, no. Dalawang bagay ang gagawin namin dito eh. Unang-una, yung sinasabi niyang remedial legislation. Pangalawa, gusto ko na ma-prosecute itong mga taong ito. Hindi lamang po legislation, kundi kapag nakita natin dito sa investigasyon na ito, na merong mga nagkasala dito, merong gumawa ng krimen dito, dapat yan i-prosecute. Whether it be DOJ o Ombudsman, is up to them. To prosecute these people sapagkat kinakailangan na to address this problem. Sapagkat naniniwala po kami dito na hindi lamang ito criminal organization. This is actually a syndicate. Whether you call it political or economic, whatever it might be, this is a syndicate operating in our country. Yun ang aming pag-aakala dito. Kaya kami nagkatipon. Alright.
Sir, I have two questions po. Sir, first kay Congressman Abante. Tanong ko lang po if tama po ba na isama yung human rights? Kasi yung iniimbestigahan po ng human rights happened before yung mga alleged EJK. Tapos ito naman pong Pogo, yung sa Mexico, recent lang naman po siya. I mean, paano, pwede po mapaliwanag kung paano i-intertwine yung dalawang issue?
There are exchange of money here, ba? Ibig sabihin, ang nakita namin na there might be a quota system in the Philippine National Police, number one. Although dinideny ito ng iba, no? Pero ibang mga police na sabi nila ito. Pangalawa, there's a reward system. So, ibig sabihin, sa reward system na yan, kapag nakapatay ka ng drug pusher, may reward ka. Nalaman namin na this is a testimony of one of the policemen that we have, officers, from 20,000 to 60,000 ang binabayad dyan. You see, yan testimony. We'd like to find out why. We'd like to find out saan nanggagaling ang pera. Sapagkat nalaman namin, nanggagaling yan sa Pogo money. Nanggagaling sa gambling money yan. Oo. Sa drugs naman, alam natin na ang pinatay nung panahon ng war on drugs ay mga drug pushers, mga drug lords. Pero nadamay ang mga drug users. Nadamay, merong mistaken identity. In fact, in our last hearing, merong 9 years old na bata na pinatay, binaril, pero nakalagay death certificate pneumonia. Walang police report ang ginawa yung 4 na police na nag-imbestiga. Anong ibig sabihin po nito? Anong ibig sabihin niyan? Wala kaming makita, wala kaming malaman kung ano nangyari dito. Kawawa yung ama na nagsabi, yung aking anak pinatay, andun ang bala. Nung pinatay siya, yung bala hindi na natanggal, andun pa rin. Pero yung death certificate, ano nakalagay? Pneumonia.
Sir, just to follow up, I get na meron siyang correlation sa dangerous drugs. Pero sa Pogo and sa Mexico, Pampanga, ano pong connection niya, sir?
Yung exchange ng pera. Yung pera, yung galing sa Pogo, galing sa gambling, na binabayad doon sa mga kapulisan natin.
Bukod doon, no, yung nakita natin na pinalabas sa Committee on Public Order, yung mga torture na ginagawa sa mga empleyado ng Pogo. Malaking bahagi yon ng human rights kasi forced labor doon sa report ng PAOK, sinasabi nila na pinipilit nila yung mga empleyado to work more than 18 hours. Imagine, para lang maka-achieve sila ng quota kasi may quota silang hinahabol. So, yan, isa yan bahagi ng human rights na dapat nating tingnan. No? Bukod dun sa murder that are committed against Pogo employees, yung torture, yung human trafficking dyan, kidnapping, lahat nandiyan dyan.
By the way, Chairman Barbers, nalaman din namin na meron din tayong police officers that are victims of human rights. Mga police officers na ginamit lamang. Ginamit. They did not really want to kill anyone, pero ginamit sila. Ang gusto natin malaman, sino yung gumamit? Ba't ginamit itong mga taong ito? And I would like to ask the police officers, even right now, kapag kayo, ginamit kayo, victim kayo ng human rights, sumigaw na kayo. Sabihin nyo na sa amin yan. Kailangan nating malaman ito.
May I? Yes. Kayo nasa media, di po ba? And you have been members of the media, even during the past administration. If you remember, ang centerpiece ng the past administration is the war on drugs. I think we agree on that. And the reason why it was the centerpiece because alam po nila na dahil sa drugs, maraming krimen na nangyari. Lahat ng karamihan ng krimen, it's connected to illegal drugs. Yun ang dahilan. After the administration, yung past administration marami pa rin remnants na gumagawa ng mali. For example, doon po sa nangyari sa San Juan, Batangas, yung tao, wala namang bypass na nangyari eh. Basta binaril na lang yung tao. That's extrajudicial killing. Doon sa akin sa Antipolo, nag-kidnap sila ng tao dahil itinuro lang ng isang asset nila. Yung bata, college student sa Fatima, nasira tuloy yung buhay niya dahil nakakulong. So, I think, kung titingnan po natin, lahat po nung aspeto ng mga committee na ito ay nag-originate doon po sa iisa, yung sa illegal drugs. So, yun po ang dahilan kung bakit kami nag-isip na dapat a committee or a quad committee, ito na lang ang maghihir nito para makorelate lahat. Ang hirap pong magtagpi kung hiwa-hiwalay po kami. Marami pong salamat.
Kung sabi nyo kanina, invite nyo si former President Duterte, how about, say, Senator Bato de la Rosa po?
Can you repeat the question, please?
I-invite nyo rin po ba si Senator Bato?
Yes, we are going to invite him. Definitely, we will. By the way, we're not inviting him because he's a senator, no? We're inviting him because he used to be the Director General in which libo-libo ang napatay. Kaya I just would like to say this, no, ha? Sinasabi niya kasi na wala kaming karapatang mag-imbestiga. Meron kaming karapatang mag-imbestiga. He should have read even the rules of the Senate on that. You see, we're investigating him. We would like to invite him not because he is a sitting senator, but because he was, during the time of the war on drugs, the Director General of the Philippine National Police. And under his stewardship, libo-libo ang napatay.
Good morning po, Jonathan Andal sa GMA News. Since dahil magiging Quadcom na po, mag-issue ba kayo ng bagong invitation kay former President Duterte signed by all four chair?
Yes, we will invite the former president to enlighten us dun sa issue on the war on drugs, no? And maybe he can shed some information that will be of help, no, in the writing of the committee report, especially dun sa remedial legislation na plano naming maging produkto nito, no. And his expertise, his wisdom will be appreciated by the Quadcom. Kaya kailangan naming marinig sa kanya mismo.
I understand yung initial reason ba't siya iimbita dahil sa war on drugs. Pero pag-uusapan din kasi sa Quadcom yung Pogo. May gusto ba kayong itanong sa dating Pangulo tungkol sa Pogo?
Well, basically, we have heard dun sa committee natin, no, that he issued Executive Order number 13 transferring the authority of CESA to conduct yung mga online gaming to PAGCOR. And because of this transfer of the power from CESA to PAGCOR, nag-proliferate yung mga illegal POGOs, considering all the criminal elements that we have seen, no? Ano yung rationale why this executive order was issued? But of course, meron di ba? But we have seen yung maraming elements sa drugs, sa POGOs, sa buying of properties, sa EJK, na a while ago we are trying to correlate each other. And sino yung pinagmulan ng lahat ng ito? There must be something on top of everything. Hindi naman pumasok tong mga elementong to ng ganun lamang di ba? And probably this is the objective of this committee, to find out, di ba? Kasi aside from crafting the right bills na magiging batas, syempre yung ang pananagutan ng mga nagperpetrate nitong mga problems that we are now trying to solve.
Anong particular question po yung gusto nyong itanong kay former President Duterte tungkol sa Pogo, Congressman Dan?
Well, actually, siyempre, mahirap sagutin yung ngayon na sasabihin na namin kung ano katanungan. We will just go with the flow. We'll be inviting him to shed light on all the issues pertaining do sa issues ng public order and safety. na-compromise ba yung ating national security and yung narrative that we are gearing toward a certain and one specific country, and instead of trying to be impartial about everything in order to maximize yung benefits that we can get to those countries. Those are the issues that we have to tackle. And there are common denominator that existed in all this problem that we have encountered. Isa lang ang common denominator. Sa buying of properties, mga corporations owned by Chinese. Yung mga drugs entered in our country, all Chinese. Yung pogos, that we encountered a lot of criminal elements perpetrated by Chinese. Di ba? These are all connected. And because of this kind of interconnection, the implementation of all these orders, nagbunga noong mga extrajudicial killings, di ba? That intertwined with drugs, di ba? Kaya marami tayong dapat itanong na dapat maintindihan ng tao dahil meron dito talagang yung pinuntahang isang pagpanig sa isang bansa at hindi pagpanig sa isang bansa. And I think the President is right on trying to put himself in a middle in order to maximize the benefits of the two countries. Kasi yun yung pinaka-outmost concern natin. Bakit tayo parang nandun, magiging probinsya na tayo ng China, ito ba ay tinatawag na mind conditioning to all of us? There must be something on top that somehow controlled us. Yun lang.
We have to be thorough about this investigation. Ayaw naman natin na create ito at wala tayong produkto, no? As you probably all know, ang kongresong mandato ng kongreso ay gumawa ng batas, no? At hindi ganoon kadali para sa ganitong klaseng issue na gumawa tayo ng batas. That's why we want to be thorough about this. If this will take several hearings, if there is a necessity also to go around the country to conduct public hearings, why not? And if we feel that sufficient na yan, then that's the time siguro ihinto namin.
Sa sandaling mag-convene na yung Quadcom, may we know what will happen doon sa mga personalities involved doon sa 4 na committee na na-issuehan ng show cause order at saka warrant of arrest na until now they refuse to show up.
Okay, thank you. No. Anyway, the contempt and the contempt order that was issued to different personalities, and that includes Michael Yang, that will be only lifted, of course, if the resolution and the committee report was adopted in the plenary. So, automatic lifted yan. But of course, if the presence of all those cited in contempt by each committee, if their presence is needed and necessary in this Quadcom committee, papatawag ulit namin. So, again, if they refuse to attend hearings without valid excuse, therefore, they can be cited again in contempt. But sa committee level po, it will be automatically lifted pag dumating na po sa plenary approval or adoption ng committee report.
Just a clarification lang. Meaning to say, the committee report ng 4 na committee before mag-convene ng Quadcom will be submitted to plenary?
No, not necessarily.
Not necessarily.
Sabi ko kasi kanina, as I've said, there are issues or resolution that concerns parochial. No?
Okay.
So, tuloy-tuloy lang po yun until such time that a committee report will be approved at the committee level and adopted in plenary. While ongoing hearing dito sa Quadcom, if that committee report or data or facts, testimonies is needed to be used in this Quadcom, it can be used. For example lang ganito, yung sa case ni Michael Yang, that's why gusto ko lang dugtungan yung sinabi kanina ng mga kasamaan ko dito with regards to the presence of the President that will be invited by the Quadcom. Now, for example, the person who Michael Yang, alam naman ng public who is Michael Yang, di ba? Until now, he's a fugitive. He's cited in contempt sa committee. Now, alam naman po natin, lahat ngayon dito, nakaumang doon kay Michael Yang. For example, in my committee, Edith Tayang, etong si Willie Ong, konektado yung kapatid niya, ngayon dito sa Pogo, konektado doon sa, may isa pa, konektado sa Parmali. So, it is only the president, previous administration, or the past president that can answer this. Because nobody can answer with regards to the appointment, so-called appointment of Michael Yang. Di ba? As an economic advisor during that time. Whether that is official, hindi ko nakita yung dokumento, but it was announced in public. And Michael Yang now cannot be found. Tapos, itong Michael Yang ngayon, konektado sa lahat. Pogo, drugs. Sa akin, sa committee ko, yung mga Chinese national na pretending to be Filipinos, yung mga tao doon, konektado sa kanya. So, who can answer this? I think nobody. Unless until we can catch up with Michael Yang or President Duterte himself. Thank you po.
Your question is, what happens to those people who were cited in contempt by the different committees? It would remain until, as far as our rules are concerned, until the final committee report is presented to the plenary. So, until they present themselves to the committee, if they present themselves to the committee, the contempt order will be lifted. If they will not appear up to the time that the committee report will be submitted to the plenary, it would only be the time na ma-lift din yung contempt nila. Yun po yung kwan. Now, this is a different committee. It's known as the Quad Committee. The committee would follow the rules of the House. I think the rules to be followed by the committee, Quad Committee is already being, shall we say, by the different COMSEC. They're preparing the rules to be followed by this committee already. So we can invite any person we want to, who would be necessary to provide us the necessary information. We can also cite people invited for contempt if they do not appear. Para bang ganun pa rin dun sa different committees dito. Thank you.
Nabanggit na po ni Kong Apcop kanina na the same rules of the committee will apply to this Quadcom in terms of how you will invite resource persons and whether you can cite them in contempt if they don't appear. I'm wondering how that would extend to when you invite President Duterte, because if I remember correctly, nung in-invite po siya ni Kong Abante for the Committee on Human Rights, he extended what do you call this, presidential courtesy in that hindi naman po magli-lead to a show cause order or anything. If the Quadcom invites President Duterte, will that privilege be also extended to him, or is it the kind where if he doesn't show up, as I'm sure he will likely be doing, pwede po ba ito mag-lead to a citation of contempt?
Ako, I think we have to exhaust every possibilities, if the President, again, hindi umattend doon sa papatawag nating hearings, maraming option that we can possibly do, trying to issue a show cause order. Most likely, we will be refraining muna sa ganong aksyon. But for the meantime, the chairman and the members are talking about different kind of options. So, wag natin siguro pag-usapan yon. Let it really flow in the natural way. Para na sa ganun, wag natin ma-preempt yung sitwasyon.
Thank you. Joy Cantos from Filipino Star ngayon.
Sir, nasang level po yung grand conspiracy between dito sa mga POGO operators at sa mga airing government officials natin na involved po, kasi yung POGOs po na-establish doon yung involved din sa organized crime syndicates. Meron pa nga pong mga human trafficking, may drugs, may love scam pa. Pinasok na rin lahat ng scam po eh. Sige po. Po, kasi po yung some government officials po natin eh, involved din, past, pwedeng meron din sa present kasi nakapag-produce sila ng mga birth certificate, ng mga fake passport. hindi naman po mangyayari yung kung walang connivance.
Ito po kasi, again, as I've said, it started it all with my committee, no? Doon po sa mga late registration, PSA, ano doon. Pag nakakuha na po ng, of course, sa PSA level, pag nakakuha na, pag nakalusot, pwede na mag-LTO, diba, driver's license, pwede na mag-passports, no? Et cetera, et cetera. Gun license, pwede rin, well, in fact, may mga baril. But anyway, so, question, it's either directly involved, yung mga personal sa agency, or because of the weak guidelines, no, and practices doon mismo sa mga agencies. Pero of course, in the case of this is Parokya, in the case of Mexico Pampanga, malinaw po na yung mayor doon is involved. Is in courts with Eddie Tayang. So, kung titingnan mo, kung nangyayari ito sa municipal level, at yan ito, yung pogo at saka yung drugs. Siyempre, yung buong connection nito from the lower level up to the higher level, ang question na ngayon is, dapat malinaw kung ano talagang, kung sino ang mananagot dito sa national level. Kasi, as mentioned by Chairman Dan kanina, kaya kumalat yung pogo dahil doon sa EO13 eh. But of course, this is not a conclusive, by the members of this PADCOM. Ang sa akin lang po is, of course, may managot dyan. Now, kaya nga, gusto kong ibalik, it's the former president that issues that EO, kung pogong pag-uusapan, he has to answer that. Diba? So, ano yan, napaka-complicated na net ng mga sindikato. In which, ngayon, karamihan is involved yung mga foreign nationals na mga Chinese.
Mr. Chair, may I? Thank you. Doon po kasi sa nangyayari sa atin, some people are taking advantage of the loopholes of our laws. Some people have also taken advantage doon sa masamang kultura natin kung minsan. Especially in the implementation of our laws. Kasi, we take a specific example kung bakit nagkakaroon ng passport yung alien, for example, Chinese. Kasi, inallow natin na magkaroon ng late registration. For example, Alice Go, 17 years. 17 years old nung na-register yung birth niya eh. So, it was registered in a local civil registry. Hindi natin malam kung yung local civil registry, sinunod niya yung patakaran nila para magkaroon ng tamang late na pagka-register na kanyang birth. Now, tinanong din namin kasi i-report ng local civil registry sa PSA, where we get all our birth certificates to support yung ating pag-apply dun sa passport. Yung tinignan din namin yung protocol ng PSA, ang sagot nga sa amin nun, ministerial lang yung kanilang gawain eh. So there's something missing dun sa ating mga batas at sa ating mga guidelines or protocols. So we have to look into this para ma-plug yung mga loopholes na ito. And I think that's part of the reason why kailangan maimbestigan ng Quadcom para, yun nga, magkaroon ng remedial measures after the hearings conducted by this body. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Ako, sagutin ko lang yung katanungan mo na gaano kalawak, So, sa investigasyon natin sa PNP, naniniwala tayo na maraming involved, doon lang sa successful operation, tapos na-relieve yung mga officers and men, tapos they were scattered all over the country. Instead, nandito sila, pagpapatuloy yung laban doon sa mga illegal gamblings, illegal pogos, inalis sila dito sa kanilang area of jurisdiction na naging successful. We have found out na yung issue ng mga ng ating mga opisyal ay umaakyat hanggang itaas. Having said that, no, meron din sa issue ng mga LGUs, sa mga mayors. Well, hindi natin alam kung gaano kalawak itong involvement ng mga public official elected, and even yung mga appointed sa PSA, they were appointed, but of course hindi natin alam kung gaano kahaba yung ammunition ng ating mga kalaban. Kasi ang pipili mo dito kaya lumalawak to dahil sa pera, no? So in other words, kaya natin inaalam dahil national security na nga po ang concern dito, yung ating pong bayan. So mamimili ka na dito, di ba? Pera o bayan. Yun lang po.
Sir, with regards to the bloody war on drugs, sir, based sa statement po ng mga naging witness and resource person, sama na natin si Colonel Asierto, is there a compelling reason to believe that the ex-President Duterte is really the mastermind of the EJK? Is there really an order to kill outside the very ambit of the judicial system, or is just merely a contributive factor? Kasi may mga statement siya before, although wala namang sir, may sinasabi sa mga pulis, nasa grandstand pa nga ako noon, kill 1,000 and I'll protect you.
Well, we will cross the bridge when we get there. No? Kasi inaakusahan siya ng NUPL, for example, like Attorney Nery Colmenares, Attorney Conti, and the other NUPL leaders, like, for example, Attorney Adel Jokno, in my hearing, and even the Makabayan Black have actually accused him to be the mastermind of this. So we're going to find out. We're going to find out in our hearings.
Mr. Chair, in the committee of the Honorable Abante, may mga accusations against the former president. Di po ba? And it is but right and proper that we also give him the opportunity to defend himself. So that is precisely the reason why and the basis why the committee would invite him if he would accede to our invitation, so that he can answer the accusations leveled against him. And I think that is part of due process. Marami pong salamat.